Dan, ok, es un vendedor que a día de hoy factura más o menos $25 millones al año, ok. Eso es el equivalente a $2 millones al mes. Eso es el equivalente a $500,000 a la semana. Entonces imagínate crear un negocio de Amazon que cada vez que sea viernes, sabes que hiciste $500,000, y el siguiente viernes hiciste $500,000, y el siguiente viernes hiciste $500,000. Eso es más o menos el nivel en el que está Dan. Esto es una parte muy importante porque Dan es una persona muy inteligente, se lo digo honestamente. Dan está posicionando su negocio, okay, con ciertas estrategias para, en el momento en que su negocio crezca lo suficiente, intentar venderle el negocio, okay, a inversores privados. Puede ser algún inversor que tiene $800 millones que no saben dónde invertirlo y pueden comprar la tienda de Dan, obviamente a un precio bastante alto, que sería dinero neto que cae para él, okay, y estas personas entonces quedarse con la tienda. Una ronda de aplausos por favor para Dan. Entonces, para quienes no conocen a Dan, okay, primero que nada, Dan es un muy buen amigo mío, okay, excelente persona y excelente vendedor de Amazon, okay. Si todos pueden sacar el teléfono un momento y buscarlo en Instagram, okay, @1000ASINs. That's a great name, by the way. Are you at 1,000 ASINs already? Más de 1,000 ASINs en la tienda, ok. Este es su username en Instagram. Entonces Dan, ok, es un vendedor que a día de hoy factura más o menos $25 millones al año, ok. Eso es el equivalente a $2 millones al mes. Eso es el equivalente a $500,000 a la semana. Entonces imagínate crear un negocio de Amazon que cada vez que sea viernes, sabes que hiciste $500,000, y el siguiente viernes hiciste $500,000, y el siguiente viernes hiciste $500,000. Eso es más o menos el nivel en el que está Dan. Un aplauso para Dan, por favor. Y Dan, okay, tiene el objetivo, la meta de lograr $100 millones en facturación anual en algunos años. 2, 3 years, 5 years, 100 million?
5 years.
5 years, okay. 2, 3, no pressure. 5 years, ok, en 5 años. Okay. Además, esto es una parte muy importante porque Dan es una persona muy inteligente, se lo digo honestamente. Dan está posicionando su negocio, okay, con ciertas estrategias para, en el momento en que su negocio crezca lo suficiente, intentar venderle el negocio, okay, a inversores privados. Okay. Private equity, puede ser un vendedor que sea súper grande, puede ser algún inversor que tiene $800 millones que no saben dónde invertirlo, y pueden comprar la tienda de Dan, obviamente a un precio bastante alto, que sería dinero neto que cae para él, okay, y estas personas entonces quedarse con la tienda. Esto es algo que en nuestro modelo de negocio no es muy común hacer, porque si tú haces un negocio de reventa regular, que es del proveedor a Amazon y ya, eso no tiene tanto valor. Ahora, cuando él, que es experto en brand direct, okay, en crear relaciones directamente con marcas, con contratos, con miles de cosas más, es algo mucho más sostenible y es algo mucho más llamativo para inversores, okay. Entonces, él está intentando construir algo que más adelante lo pueda vender y que llegue a tener un payday increíble, okay. Es experto en brand direct, es experto en logística y es experto en delegar y construir equipos. De hecho, Dan está viviendo aquí en la ciudad de Miami y tiene su almacén en Boston. How many employees do you have?
20 employees and
20.
10 offshore, so 30.
30 empleados en total, 20 físicos en Estados Unidos, 10 fuera de los Estados Unidos, ¿ok? Y él vive en Miami, todo eso corre a esos niveles que estamos viendo. Entonces, realmente es una persona que ha construido un negocio muy bueno. Como le digo, su expertise obviamente está en todo el negocio como tal, pero lo que a mí más me llama la atención de lo que han logrado es sus relaciones de brand direct, su manejo en la logística, ¿ok? Y la delegación y construir los equipos. Entonces, les vamos a hacer algunas preguntas. Sé que tenemos aquí un par de personas con preguntas pendientes, Costica, ¿ok? I'm going to start doing the questions, a few questions. Because
Sure.
I'm the boss, so I got first.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely.
And then we're going to do just a couple questions from the audience. Sounds good?
Got
Dale. Thank you for being here, man. It means a lot. Okay. Okay. So, I actually think I have something in my notes. I can write it. No worries. Okay. So, I understand so right now you deal directly with suppliers and brand direct. Like you're super strong on brand direct. How's the distribution between both of them for your business at this point?
Yeah, right now I'm probably 70 or 80% brand direct, maybe 20 to 30 distribution.
That's great. Now, three years ago, how was the distribution?
3 years ago is probably the opposite, maybe 70% distributors, 30% brand direct. Yeah.
Entonces hace 3 años, para que vean la evolución del negocio, hace 3 años, ¿ok? Él hacía 70%, era directamente con proveedores, de 70-80, y solo un 20 o 30% era directamente a marcas. A medida que ha ido evolucionando el negocio, ahorita el 70-80% es de marcas directamente, que es mucho más valioso, que es mucho más seguro, que creas una buena relación y trae muchos beneficios, y solamente un 20% viene directamente de suppliers, para que vean la evolución. Okay, now, okay, so that was one of the main questions. We spoke the other day, and I know you're creating kind of like agreements with the brands, like you're getting to that point in the relationship where they trust you so much that they're just gonna give you like a contract for a few years, and which is great for your business. How do you approach the brand? Like, what is your offer?
Yeah, so to work with the brand directly, the main point is you need to help them grow online. So a lot of people that start out in this, they want to just buy and resell the products and do nothing else. But what brands want is totally different than that. Brands want, let's say they do 10 million of revenue in a year on Amazon. They want a partner to help them make that 15 or 20 or 25 million. And to do that, you have to really think like a brand. So you have to do things brands want. So that's improving the listings on Amazon, improving the pictures, video, maybe selling on other sales channels, pay-per-click advertising, and also tracking metrics that they want to see. Like a lot of brands don't even know what their sales are on Amazon. So if you tell them that, like, oh, you're doing 1 million a month on Amazon, and it's amazing, a lot of these brands have no idea. And then if you show them monthly, like the progress, sales have grown, month over month over month. You can show them your advertising efforts, stuff like that. So staying in communication with the brand and kind of approaching it like you're part of their team rather than just a reseller of products. One example I like to talk about is like, imagine a brand sales on Amazon is like a pie, like a pizza or something, and they have 5 resellers and the pie is sliced 5 ways, right? And then if you're number 6, you're just slicing the pie 6 ways. Yeah. And then number 7 is slicing it even more. Number 8 is even more. So what happens is the brand doesn't grow, they just do more sales to more people, and it's just split up more and more and more and more ways. And that doesn't help the brand, that actually hurts the brand because they have to process more orders to more people, and then when there's a minimum advertised price, once you add an 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th reseller, one of those resellers is going to be bad. Yeah. One of them is going to undercut the price or redistribute the product to another seller, and the brand has no idea who's selling their products anymore. So I try to approach it saying, you don't need more resellers, you actually need less resellers. You need better partners. And if we do a good enough job, then we will have the conversation where maybe we'll be the exclusive seller. So right now I have just 1 or 2 exclusives, hopefully more down the road, but most of my brand directs, I'm one of a very select few authorized resellers, maybe one of 4 or 5 for big brands doing, $2 million a month. So that's where I'm at now. So you have to think like a brand and think, how am I going to help this brand improve online? So.
That's a great answer. Thank you. Okay, for people that they're just kind of like starting in their Amazon journey, I feel it's kind of tough to go brand direct just right off the bat. Would you say it's like a good opportunity to just focus on a few suppliers at the beginning, get the ball rolling, and then once you're already selling, you have like good suppliers, everything's running smoothly, you start reaching out to brands, or what will be kind of like the process and the timeline for a new seller?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Maybe start with distributors, local distributors in your area even, and build those relationships. I still think buying from distribution is great, but I think brand direct is like the next step after. But yeah, I would start with distributors. Start to just understand, the buying and selling aspect of it, and analyzing products, analyzing profitability, stuff like that. And if you continue to buy the products and they make money, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to force yourself to go to brand direct. There are a lot of huge sellers out there, bigger than me, that just buy from distributors. So it's not a problem to buy from distributors. But the way I see Amazon going in the next 5 or 10 years is going to be more and more about brands. And some of the distributors I buy from, they'll tell me, oh, you actually can't sell this brand online and can't sell that brand online. So the brands are talking to the distributors and saying, if any of your customers are Amazon sellers, block off the orders from that person. So there's still plenty left, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so I think I agree with you. A good progression would be start with small distributors, then maybe bigger distributors, and then see if you can form relationships with brands.
And then for the brands, it would be kind of like the same technique. At the beginning, just reach out to smaller brands. We're talking like about between 50K and 100K on monthly revenue, like at the beginning, and then try to go for like bigger ones, or?
Yeah, exactly. So one misconception about going brand direct is you need millions of dollars to support these brands. But there are all types of brands out there in the world. There's very, very small brands that are just 1, 2, 3 person team, and that's it. And those small brands can partner with small sellers. They almost prefer someone who really cares and is going to be in close communication with them. A small brand doesn't even have the chance to work with a large Amazon seller because, take for instance Pattern, the biggest Amazon seller in the world. They won't even talk to a brand unless they have $5 million of revenue a year. So there's levels to brand direct. Like the huge mega sellers are going to partner with the biggest brands out there, of course. But then a business like mine is partnering with maybe medium-sized brands, and then a newer seller with lower amounts of capital can partner with one of the many, many, many small brands out there that might only make 3 products, but you can focus on those 3 products and do a really good job for them and focus on that relationship.
And then you can use kind of like that story to just open the next brand direct account.
Exactly.
Right?
It's almost good to start with like a very low stakes, like small brand, do a good job, and then use that as a case study or an example for when you talk to other brands. Say, hey, here's what I did for this brand. Document the process. So like take a screenshot of their horrible listings, horrible images, and then once you fix them, take another screenshot and then say before and after, and then put that in a presentation. Be like, hey, look what we did with this other brand in your same category. We can do the same for you. And that's really effective to get brands to sell to you directly.
Awesome, thank you. You're great, pretty much everything on Amazon, but I think you're great at getting working capital and building teams. One of the things that we were talking about earlier, you have some water there, was to kind of like delegate some of the tasks that you don't really need to do yourself. So mainly it will be prep. Do you agree that the whole prepping and logistics side of the business should be like the first task to delegating in your team, or outsourced to a prep center?
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's exactly what I did. The first person that I hired was a warehouse prepper, and I think it's important to learn the first few months, like the prepping process, what's involved, how to create shipments, stuff like that. But once you understand it, it can definitely be delegated to somebody else or a prep center. I'm even thinking about now potentially just partnering with a big prep center instead of my own warehouse. So I think right from the start, you could sign up with a prep center. and just delegate it right away.
That's crazy. I was going to ask that question. I think I already got the answer. If you started selling on Amazon right now with the knowledge and the experience that you already have, will you go the own operation way or the prep center and fuck everything else way?
Yeah, I would actually go the prep center route. Because my warehouse, I have 12 employees in it. I pay like $20,000 in rent every month. I pay utilities, insurance, payroll taxes, workers' comp. All the equipment costs a lot of money, the supplies. And then I have to hire people, I have to fire people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I have to manage people. It's just a lot. It's a lot to manage. So you can do it, and I think I'm saving a little bit of money over using a prep center. It might be 20 or 30% cheaper, but I think it's worth it to pay a little more just to outsource that part of the business, because there are already experts out there that do logistics all day, every day. And they have much larger employees, staff to handle large volumes. So why not take advantage of experts? Why try to reinvent it all yourself? So while you can do it, I'm not like strongly against it. I actually think using a 3PL or prep center is better. And even some of the biggest brands in the world, they exclusively use 3PLs, billion-dollar brands. It's like, if they're doing it, like why wouldn't I do it? And just focus on the really important parts of your business. And prep can be done by others. And one other point on prep, I'm in a very expensive area of the country, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and I have to pay my employees at least $20, like to even get them to apply to the job. $20 an hour, and some of them have been with me for 2 years. They're at 23, 24, 25. So that creeps up, and every year they want more and more, which is fair, rightly so. But you can utilize a prep center in a cheaper part of the country, like the Midwest or Texas, where people are making $12 an hour, and also the inbound shipping to Amazon from a central point in the United States can be cheaper, and you actually save money on inbound shipping, which is a hidden savings that I never really thought about until recently. But if you're in like a corner of the country, it might be a little more there. So why not take advantage of like a place with different like economics, labor costs, location advantages. So I'm thinking about it more and more. And then the last point I'll make, sorry,
no worries.
a lot to say on this.
That's why you're here.
Yeah. So I've had times with my own warehouse where there's very slow periods. So if I'm out of cash flow for a little bit and I can't order anything for a month or two, I've had months where my warehouse is sitting there reading books and like they're not working. And I can't just say like you can't work this month. They need the paycheck and stuff. So whereas if I use the prep center, I don't have to pay the prep center regardless of the volume. So like a prep center can scale up and also scale down when you need. So it actually eliminates some of the waste, because when you think about it, there's never the perfect amount of products for your employees. Like there's either too much and there's a backlog and people are like struggling to get through it,
bro.
Or there's not enough and they're like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do now? So
that's so true.
So prep center just solves that for you. You go up, you go down, it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah, you got the flexibility and you don't have the liability of having to pay the rent and employees regardless of the volume. We were talking about that just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so the distributors that I'm buying from, they're all brand direct. They're big national distributors. So I know for a fact that they're getting it straight from the brand. And in fact, some of the brands even know me. They just say, one thing to know about brands, some just do not sell to retailers, period. They just never will.
Yeah.
So even if they want to sell you the product, they say, oh, go to this distributor because that's just how we do business. We will not sell to you unless it's through a distributor. So in the pool industry, there's a lot of brands like that, and automotive too. So we work closely with some of the biggest distributors in the country for those categories, and the brand even knows us, we know the brand, they see our storefront online on Amazon, they've approved us, we've filled out all the paperwork, stuff like that. So when I have all that, it's not really a problem to get ungated. I'm in the fortunate position where I don't have to worry too much about ungating. They'll even give me letters of authorization if I need them for ungating. But yeah, if I were having difficulty, I would make sure you're buying from reputable distributors, and you can even contact the brand and say, is this distributor authorized for your brand? If they say yes, you can actually use that email and submit that with your ungating request and say, this is coming from the brand themselves. They're saying this is an authorized distributor. Here's the invoice from the distributor. Come on. And with ungating, sometimes it's annoying. You have to make 5, 6, 7 cases. Keep trying, because you're going to get a different person every single time on the other end. Some might be in a good mood today, some might be in a bad mood, some might be reading correctly.
Just try until you get the happy one.
Sometimes it's like that, unfortunately. So
yeah.
Just keep trying, provide more and more evidence. The website details, like any verification from the brand, yes, this is a legit supplier. And eventually, hopefully it works for you. But I know the requirements have gone to like 200, then 300, then 400 units.
Yeah.
And now it's a risk. It's like, do you make the order before you get ungated, like hoping that you're going to get ungated, or do you try and work with the supplier? Yeah, so it's a little bit of a tricky area now. But some suppliers might issue you an invoice just to see if you get ungated before you make the purchase. And if you can do that, that's great. If not, it might be a risk.
Yeah. Last one, how do you introduce yourself? Well, right now, like you have a lot of experience, great numbers on your business and everything. You can just basically say, I'm the Amazon king, so just sell products to me. There's, of course, a lot of people in this room that they're not in that position yet. But how will you introduce yourself if you're kind of like a smaller seller? There's like a lot of things that we say kind of like privately on the academy when reaching out to suppliers, just not kind of like introducing yourself as another Amazon seller, just kind of like make yourself a distributor, different online channels, online retail, so it's Amazon, it's Walmart, it's eBay. We also mentioned maybe like distribution. We all speak Spanish, so we can do export to Latin America and all that stuff. So how be kind of like a good, not necessarily a pitch, but what would be kind of like the main features that you would just mention in that conversation when opening up the wholesale account? Yeah,
I think you nailed it, really. Words matter on the phone. Words matter no matter where you are in life, but the way you position yourself is very important on the phone. So you don't want to say, I'm an Amazon seller. Never say that. That's a bad word. Yeah. So say, what I say is, we, not I, we, as in multiple people, we are an online retail company. So, which is accurate. We are an online retailer. An Amazon seller is an online retailer. And so that way you say what you do, but you also don't mention Amazon right away. So, usually the follow-up question is, okay, where do you sell? And so it's not like you'll just get away with it that easy, but the next thing I say is, we sell on online marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Shopify. So I say Amazon, I don't avoid it, but I also don't highlight it as like the only channel. I'll say we sell in like 4 different places. And then they've heard the word Amazon, but they've also heard some other things, and they're not like fixated on Amazon necessarily. Sometimes they'll just say right away like, oh, like we can't do Amazon, no more sellers, whatever. And usually it's a lost cause, but me and my buyers will at least try. They'll be like, okay, what's going on with Amazon? Like, are you having issues with certain sellers? What's the rationale for not allowing more sellers? And then sometimes they'll just start talking, and then they'll complain about, oh, no one's respecting our map price, or there are all these sellers we don't know, or no one's doing anything for us. And that's where the magic happens, where we try to convince them, oh, well, we adhere to map, we can fix these listings, we can do a whole audit of your brand, see what's going on. And one method I've been trying recently is like the one listing method. Let us just try and fix one of your listings and improve it, and like just give us access to this one product, and let us prove to you that we can actually fix your listings, fix your brand. And if you're happy, then you can open up more of the catalog. If you're not, then no pressure at all. So that's a new thing I'm experimenting with. And another thing I do, I'll send the brand's data. So I'll use Smart Scout, that software. You can pull a brand report and just say, here's what your brand is doing online. Here are your big competitors. And then you can say like, we can spend some money on advertising to help target your top 3 competitors. Like just anything to get you in the door, like just some talking points like that. So that's kind of how the conversation goes. But if someone says no more Amazon and you say thank you, bye, you know, it's going to lead to a lot of frustration. You will get the occasional yes, like right away. Don't get me wrong, but like the best accounts worth having, they need a little convincing. You might have to set up a call and create a whole presentation for them about their brand and like the strategy and stuff like that. So
awesome.
yeah.
You mentioned something about your buyers. I know you have like buyers. I'm just wondering, do you have people also reaching out to suppliers at this point? The stuff is pretty big, and then from those like 20 in the US and then 10 outside of the US. How's kind of like the structure, like what would be like those positions for a mega seller as yourself? Like how does the kind of like the organizational chart looks like?
Yeah, so about half of my US employees are in the warehouse, just a lot of warehouse people, a warehouse manager. And then I have 2 buyers, so their job is getting new accounts all the time. So they have a list of thousands and thousands of accounts to reach out to. We always want to pull in more business because sometimes you lose accounts too, which hurts sometimes. So like to keep growing and growing, you kind of want 2 in the door, 1 might go out the door, but like as long as you have more coming in than going out, then you're going to keep growing. So it's important once you get a few accounts. I mean, you can pause and work on those accounts for a while, but you should have it keep going, like the reach out to accounts keep going forever, in my opinion. It's kind of like the whole sales part of the business. So yeah, I have 2 people that they actually do the purchase orders. They manage the accounts for me. Like they talk to the brand owners, they present the data, stuff like that, and then they'll be doing ordering. So. And then I have a full-time employee just doing off Amazon stuff. So eBay, Walmart, TikTok, Shopify. We sell in Amazon Canada too. So he focuses on that. I have an admin assistant, and yeah, that's about it. That's
And
so
offshore?
And then offshore, I have like an overall offshore manager who manages the whole team, and then I have an advertising expert full-time. I have a designer full-time, and she's doing all the images and infographics, stuff like that.
For the brands.
I have a catalog person who's really good at changing listings and updating them with like the right title and bullet points, stuff like that. I have an account health specialist. And then I have a few people that just help with like general admin stuff, and they know how to do purchase orders too, as like for review by my buyers. So
nice.
That's pretty much where I'm at now. So
that's a lot. So yeah, congrats. Go.
What about PPC? Is the guy on advertisement?
Yeah, full-time PPC advertising person. Yep.
You do some PPC for the brands that you're working directly with, right?
Yeah, we do. And sometimes they'll contribute as well to the ad spend.
Okay.
So I have 3 different brands. We'll set a monthly budget, we'll pay half, and they actually pay half. And then we get a credit on our invoice. So sometimes the brands...
How does that look like? Like they just send you the money, like half of the budget?
It'll usually be a discount on the next order. Like they'll just
okay,
like,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And then
So it's like 10K, you do 5, then the next order that you place, like they're just gonna give you a 5K discount.
Yeah, and then we show them the ad data and be like, which is another value add, like, oh, we generated $50,000 of sales through our advertising efforts for you. And then brands love to see that. It's like, wow, this partner advertised our products for me, even though it's not their brand. Like they're spending their money to advertise our products, and they generated $50,000 more sales through advertising. Like they love to see that type of stuff.
Nice, nice.
Dan, how you doing, buddy?
Very good.
Quick question. How do you deal with Walmart? With Walmart? I mean,
Walmart?
You sell on Walmart?
But yeah, I just have a guy who takes our entire catalog, all the products we sell on Amazon, and then he either creates new listings on Walmart or he'll just add our offer to the existing listings on Walmart. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, there's just someone who manages it. The orders come in. We do some FBM, so like shipping items straight from a warehouse, but you can actually link your Amazon to it where Amazon will fulfill your Walmart orders for you. So we do some of that as well. So hopefully that answers the question, but or anything else specifically on Walmart?
One question. How do you find the buyers that you have? You train them? How does that process work?
Yeah, so one of them I posted on LinkedIn and Indeed and stuff like that. Got a few candidates and did some interviews and hired them. And then, yeah, buyer, I mean, it requires some training. So you're going to have to spend a month or two with them, like teaching them a lot of stuff. But they get better and better over time as they start learning. So, and then the other one was a former employee in my warehouse. He was like a young kid, really smart, wanted to learn, very eager to learn. So he just asked me, like, can I learn what you're doing up in the office area? And I said yes. And he learned, and then he became my top guy, actually, so just from internally.
The first one is how to use your personal experience to lend accounts. And the second one, how much you invest in PPC annually.
Okay, sorry, could you repeat the first one? I didn't hear it very well.
How to use your personal experience to lend accounts.
My personal experience to land accounts. Yeah, so it's easy. Getting accounts is a strange paradox. It's very difficult at first when you have minimal experience, but then the longer you're in this, the easier it becomes. Because then you can talk about your experience, you come with a lot more confidence. So it's almost like the less you need the accounts, the easier they are to get. The more you need them, the harder they are to get. And it's like that with everything in life. It's like once you're up there, like things just come to you almost. So I think naturally your experience and like confidence will go up after you've landed a few of these accounts, and you can also speak the language, speak like to experience. So I think it just comes off naturally when like the longer you go, and then the longer you go, the more success you're going to have. You're going to be able to point to that success on phone calls, and then it just gets easier and easier. Like now I think I can get accounts at will. I already have more accounts than I can spend money on. Like it's a good problem to have, and everyone can have that problem. I firmly believe it. There's still in 25. There's so much opportunity out there. It's crazy. So
That's why you're going to include the SBA.
yeah, exactly. I have cash. Believe it or not, I have cash flow problems too. It's like I can never ever get enough capital, and I just listened to a podcast with some brands like Ridge Wallet and like huge brands, and the owners and CEOs on the podcast, they were even like, we can never, like, we're growing so fast, we have to reinvest everything into inventory. It's very hard to like take a big chunk of money out of this business. So but at first you're gonna have the problem, I have no suppliers, I have no products to buy that are profitable. Everyone has that problem to start. Your next problem is going to be, I don't have enough money to even stay in stock of these good products. And it can change quite quickly, like 1 or 2 accounts, and you'll be like, wow, okay, now I need more money. Hopefully that answers the question. And then part 2 was,
The budget annually for PPC.
spending about $200,000 a year on PPC. So about like 18, 20,000 a month, something like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
In percentage, how much is
Thank you, Dan, for
I'll get to
this
that later.
information that you're sharing with us. But we would like to know what can you recommend us about management directly, because you know it's one of the things when you need to know where is the quantity of each product. It's not the same manage 10 listings, 20 listings than 1,000, you know. You need to be clear with everything about pricing, how long time you want to get the inventory in Amazon, or if you send 100% the inventory to Amazon, or just split 50% or something like that. And the another thing is really important because I don't know what is the best moment to restock the inventory. You wait like so until 10%, or do you do the restock before or after?
Those questions on like inventory management.
Yeah.
And then like for the restock, like in order to
Okay. Is this on? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I use a software to keep track of all my inventory. First of all, as you get bigger, you need to kind of track. You know, like you said, where is everything? How much of it do I have? Where in the warehouse is it? How much is it at Amazon? All that type of stuff. So I use an inventory management software. I don't think you need one in the beginning, but as you grow, once you maybe hit 7 figures of sales or more, you should maybe look into an inventory software. In terms of optimal Amazon stock levels, I try to hover between 1 and 2 months of stock. And the reason is there are low-level inventory fees. Once you get below 28 days, they start charging you more and more as your stock goes down. And then on the high end, there are long-term storage fees. So as your inventory starts aging in Amazon's warehouses, the storage gets more and more and more expensive. So Amazon has made it kind of difficult, actually. You have to be in like a very you have to be in like a sweet spot to not incur all these fees. And you also need to think about cash flow too. So like, I used to order more, like 3 months of stock at a time and send more larger quantities in. Now I actually send less in more frequently from my warehouse. So I might send things in weekly, just 1 week of sales at a time, like very frequently. And that reduces my storage fees and maintains optimal stock levels. And then sometimes for expensive items, some of the items I sell are like $300, $400. It actually makes more sense to buy only 0 to 30 days of stock because it's so expensive, and I don't care about the inventory, the low-level fees, because I'm making $20, $30, $40 a unit. The $1 doesn't matter. I'd rather have more cash available in order, you know, every week, like just a little bit, instead of ordering 3 months of electronics and then I have no money left for anything else. So hopefully that helps, but it's a complex thing to look at. But I'd say the short answer, maybe like 1 to 2 months on average. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great question. As the business keep evolving and you keep growing, are you moving to a higher price point and just kind of like try to maintain the catalog like as tight as possible instead of going like super broad, or like what would be kind of like your average price point this time?
Yeah, so my average sale price on average across everything is about $30, I believe. But I have items as low as like $5 or $6 and items as high as $500. But any new brands, I'm gonna look for like $20 minimum price point, because Amazon's fees with like removal orders and low-level inventory fees and this and that, it makes it increasingly difficult to sell at like the $10 or less price point. You can do it, but the margins are getting more affected than if you were selling like $30, $40, $50 items, in my opinion. So yeah, I do want to go to a higher price point. And it's a much easier way to do big sales numbers too. It's like, if I had it my way, like I would sell like diamonds on Amazon. Like I would just buy, a box of diamonds this big and do the same sales numbers rather than all like this huge warehouse of products. So the smaller it is, the lighter it is, the more expensive it is, the better, you know? So yeah, so think about that as you go.
Dan, one question. Which one are the best softwares that you use?
There you are. I was looking for you.
Which one are the best software that you think?
I use a lot of softwares.
And which one are the best ones and that you said?
Well,
hey, you
I'll
have
tell
to
you
use
the
these
ones that I use, and yeah, so I use Finale Inventory for inventory. I think it's okay. It's not perfect, but we've gotten used to it. I use Seller Snap for repricing. I use Seller Board for profit analytics. What else? I use 2D Workflow for shipping. I know there are more. Oh yeah, Smart Scout for like identifying brands to reach out to and analytics like that.
Investigators for refunds, or you have your own?
Oh, that's one employee I forgot to mention. I have a full-time reimbursement employee, a VA, and but I used to use Seller Investigators as a reimbursement service. So, yeah.
What about Price Checker too? You know, what kind of software do you use for your listings?
Yeah, so believe it or not, we don't do too much UPC scanning because like the brand direct catalogs are a lot smaller, so we'll actually go through them manually, but occasionally we do get a distributor and we have a huge list to go through. Smart Scout has a UPC scanner, but it's not a great one. It's okay. I think, yeah, like a Price Checker too, or Wholesale Inspector, or like those are probably better than Smart Scout. But I don't really scan big lists anymore, so I just use Smart Scout when I need to. And one tip I have for going through big catalogs: break it down by brand. So like a catalog of 40,000 products. It might only be like 200 brands, and then you can put each one of those brands into Smart Scout, and you'll probably find that like 3/4 of them you can't sell or don't want to sell. Like Amazon is on it, or the brand is selling exclusively. So you can narrow a huge catalog down to like 1,000 lines from 40,000 lines just by identifying which brands within the catalog you want to target. So I still like going through things manually. It's more time consuming, but sometimes you uncover stuff the software misses, and you know. So I think
you get the best opportunities when you do manually, 100%.
Yeah,
every single time.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question before we go for lunch.
I see a couple there.
Okay. Vamos a para el lunch.
Hi Dan, my name is Manu, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It was a great advice, that one that you said that if you ask the problems of your supplier of the brand, maybe to solve it, and the question is, at the beginning, when you contact your first brands, that brands were already selling on Amazon, or maybe you contact brands that are not selling and you improve your e-commerce or your online sales?
Yeah, so you're asking like, do I contact brands that are already on Amazon or brands that aren't on at all? Usually brands that are already on Amazon, but I will say there's a lot of opportunity for bringing a brand to Amazon, and it's just more difficult to like launch new products. If it's a brand with a lot of brand recognition already, and you know if you put the listing up, people are going to buy it for sure, then that could be a very good opportunity. But what I do personally is I target brands already with some sales on Amazon. And it's just a little bit easier that way than like trying to launch their whole catalog.
And you offer like to improve their sales or something like that?
Yeah, improve their existing sales and point out the problems with their listing. So like, let's say their top seller, there's only 2 images, one of them is blurry and looks like crap. The title makes no sense, there's no bullet points, there's no A+ content. Like, you can point that stuff out, be like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, here's how I'd fix all of this. And then they'll be like, okay, well if you can do that, then like, yeah, I'll give you a wholesale price list and you can start selling. So.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, sure.